sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka, brigada. Lahat ang ika'y gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paaral ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada, eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paaralan, tinatawag na tahanan.
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin.
Ito lang,
Kapit lang,
sama-sama,
walang iwanan,
mananatiling magkasangga.
langit ay kakampiling natin. Ano man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka, brigada. Lahat ay kayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada, eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. Walang iwanan tayo.
Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon. Ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon. Para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano katutubo, isang hanggarin san patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat sabay-sabay,
Pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Di mo alintana mga batikos at pangungutya, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Ika'y di sumusuko, lumalaban at nangangako, maihatid pa rin ang serbisyong totoo. Para sa kabataan, ginagawa ang lahat, maibigay lang ang edukasyong karapat-dapat. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo, sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Ika'y pinangungunahan ng isang superwoman, walang iba, Madam Leonor Briones lang naman. Sa ngalan ng serbisyo, dedikasyon sa trabaho, pagmamahal ng isang ina, nararamdaman ko. Ikaw ang humuhubog sa aming kinabukasan, laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng kabataan. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo, sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
today's reflection. Galatians chapter 2 verse 20 says, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. God will accept nothing less than unreserved surrender. Half-hearted, sinful Christians can never enter heaven. There they would find no happiness, for they know nothing of the high, holy principles that govern members of the royal family. The true Christians keep the windows of the soul open heavenward. He lives in fellowship with Christ. His will is conformed to the will of Christ. His highest desire is to become more and more Christ-like.
Earnestly and untiringly, we are to strive to reach to God's ideal for us. Not as a penance are we to do this, but as the only means of gaining true happiness. The only way to gain peace and joy is to have a living connection with Him who gave His life for us, who died that we might live, and who lives to unite His power with the efforts of those who are striving to overcome. Holiness is constant agreement with God. Shall we not strive to be that which Christ so greatly desires us to be, Christians in deed and in truth, that the world may see in our lives a revelation of the saving power of truth? This world is our preparatory school. While here we shall meet with trials and difficulties. Continually the enemy of God will seek to draw us away from our allegiance. But while we cleave to Him who gave Himself for us, we are safe. The world was gathered into the embrace of Christ. He died on the cross to destroy him who had the power of death, and to take away the sin of every believing soul. He calls upon us to offer ourselves on the altar of service, a living, consuming sacrifice. We are to make an unreserved consecration to God of all that we have and are.
In this lower school of earth, we are to learn the lessons that will prepare us to enter the higher school, where our education will continue under the personal instruction of Christ. Then, He will open to us the meaning of His word. Shall we not, in the few days of probation remaining to us, act like men and women who are seeking for life in the kingdom of God, even an eternity of bliss?
May bulawang may pagluban, yuta mong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmaon. Di paligong sa bayanihan, iumol sa panag-iusap. Sa tinuang may mabeya at sa pagtinabang ay may kalamluan. Sigla, gikan sa magbubuhat, Davao de Oro, tuburan sa paglaon. Sa Davao ay niyong mahuswagon, ang kaanyang mong makabibihan, talag sa una sa kahitasan, kamukirang sa lumang ialimahan, bunga sa kalagayan. saan may bulawang may pagluban. Yuta mong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmaon. Ipalipon sa bayanihan, iumol sa panaghiusap. Sa timumang may mapeya at sa pagtinabangan may kalamluan. Lava de oro, kanimong nagamitan among kabulahanan. Davao de oro, mapulawanong paraiso. Sa naghiusang Davaoenyo, ang kaanyang makabibihan, kalag sa ongga sa sangkahitasan. Kabukiran sa lumagi alimahan, bunga sa kadagayan. Davao de oro, kanimong nagamitan among kabulahanan. Davao de oro, mapulawanong paraiso. Sa naghiusang Davaoenyo, Davao de oro, dagat tuyutan, buhing bulawan. Davao de oro, dagat tuyutan, buhing
Hello there mga ka-Z-Eskwela! This is Teacher JL welcoming you to our first hour of today's edition of Radyo Z-Eskwela. Siguradong masaya. Oras natin mga ka-Z, we have 25 minutes after 10 o'clock. Oras atid sa atin ng Mitch Construction and Supply and Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply. We're gonna be together until 12 and you will be with another set of anchors here at 12 o'clock down to 2. And of course, nandito po si Teacher Donna with me to join me, of course, sa ating programang Radyo Z-Eskwela. Good morning, Teacher Donna.
Yes, yes, yes! Wonderful Wednesday morning, Teacher JL. Ang sutara natong zuking tigpaminaw din nilang sa Radyo Z-Eskwela. Siguradong masaya!
Right, it's the middle of the week, Teacher Donna. How is your energy?
Ay, of course. Hindi mo ba na-feel sa morning greetings ko, Teacher JL?
Okay, taas pa ng
Yes!
Alright, so again, we welcome you po sa first hour of our edition of Radio Z-Eskwela today. Today is April 7, 2021. Teacher Donna, and malapit na mag-July.
Yes!
Oo, parang kailan lang, no? Mag-1 year na tayo dito sa Radio Z-Eskwela. How do you feel so far, Teacher Donna?
Parang ang bilis ng takbo ng panahon at parang feel ko kulang pa para extend ata, Teacher JL.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's just hope and pray that everything's gonna be over. I mean, the pandemic will be over soon so that everyone can get back to their normal life.
Oo. Mas masarap pa rin talaga yung face-to-face
syempre.
na klase.
Okay. Oras natin mga ka-Z, 10:26 na ng umaga. And Teacher Donna, tell us what's going to happen today.
Yes, mga ka-eskwela, for this exciting Wednesday, makakasama natin ang ating mga teachers sa science, no? Sa unang leksyon po, pag-uusapan natin for grade 7 science, ang plant and animal cells na ibabahagi sa atin ni Ma'am Rosalie A. Alcocer, teacher 2 from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, along with her creative resource material developer na si Teacher Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas, teacher 1 all the way from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School.
Right, and if you are grade 8 students, mga ka-Z, well, you will have to listen to the lesson presentation of Ma'am Sushmita Dainara M. Relampagos, teacher 1 of Andap National High School, and Elizer Ribucas, teacher 3 of Montevisa National High School. That's about comets, asteroids, and meteors at 11 o'clock.
Yes, sa ating pananghalian po, makakasama natin sina Teacher Drew and Teacher Maymay for Grade 9 Science, along with our Grade 9 Science teachers na sina Sir Noel D. Paran, Teacher 3 from Lorenzo S. Sarmiento Senior National High School, kasama ni Ma'am Shella Fedrinocos, Teacher 1, all the way from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. And we will be talking for Grade 9 Science, the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond.
Right, and for our final hour, mga Z-Eskwela, we're gonna have Grade 10 Science, that's electromagnetic waves, and gonna be presented to us by Mildred P. Recto, Teacher 3 of Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School, and Teresa V. Angostura, Teacher 1 of Montevisa National High School. Teacher Donna, we are live and alive, syempre, sa ating tatlong Facebook pages. Teacher Donna, please tell them.
Yes, live po tayo ngayon sa Z-Radio 88.5, DepEd Division of Davao de Oro official Facebook page, and Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro, and Teacher JL. Meron din tayong YouTube channel. Nandun po lahat ng ating mga lesson presentations, just in case po na na-miss ninyo yung mga presentations from the previous days, no? That's Radyo Z-Eskwela, DDO. Again, our YouTube channel is Radyo Z-Eskwela, DDO, so don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Right, send in your messages, mga Z, because we do have comment boxes po sa tatlong Facebook pages natin. And of course, meron tayong mobile phone number. It's 0953-211-3492. That's again, 0953-211-3492. My name is Teacher JL.
And I am Teacher Donna.
Teacher Donna, we're just gonna remind them, sa mga viewers natin, we do have our attendance link.
Yes.
Yan, no? We are reminding our students, our pupils, our parents and guardians, please notify us with your attendance in our RBI classes by filling out the link na nandyan sa comment box natin, Teacher Donna. Alright? So, Teacher Donna, I think we're all set.
Yes, mga kaskwela! Hone your skills and unlock your true potentials as you delve deep to the wonders and infinite possibilities of the world of science together with Teacher Rosalie and Teacher Bonnie Jean for Grade 7 Science. Kaya mga kaskwela, tara na, magklase na ta!
Our dear Grade 7 Science learners, how are you today? Welcome to another session of our School on Air in Science, where learning is fun and easy. I am glad to be with you again for another quarter of discovery and amazing moments as we take up new insights and ideas. I am your teacher presenter, Teacher Rosalie, and together, we will uncover the many wonders of science. Hello, learners! I hope you all have taken your breakfast. Eating enough nutrients as part of a varied diet is required for the health and function of all cells. Healthy cells mean good functioning cells. Are you excited to learn something new today? That's good! So, let's start. This time, we will take up Quarter 2, Module number 4 and discuss a new lesson about plant and animal cells. Kindly check your modules, notebooks, and pens. Please join me this morning for another episode of Learning in Science. Find yourself a quiet space where you can comfortably sit as we begin our lesson. As a learner, you must learn to become responsible of your own learning. Take time to read, understand, and perform the different activities in the module. Before going through, here are some reminders. As you go through with the different activities of this module, be reminded of the following. Number 1, use the module with care. Do not write anything on this module. Remember, other learners can still reuse this. Do not forget to answer "Let us try." These questions checks your previous knowledge of the lesson. Number 3, read instructions carefully before doing each task. Number 4, always observe honesty in answering the questions. Number 5, finish the task at hand. Check and review before proceeding to the next task. And lastly, return this module to your teacher once you are through, so your teacher can keep track of your progress. If you encounter any difficulty in answering the task in this module, do not hesitate to consult your teacher or facilitator. Always bear in mind that you are not alone. We hope that through this material, you will experience meaningful learning and gain a deep understanding of the relevant competencies. You can do it. To start with our new lesson, we will have a short recap of your previous lesson on the levels of biological organization. To check how well you remembered, here is the instruction. Study Figure 1, showing the different pictures representing the levels of organization in an organism labeled A, B, C, D, and E. Rearrange the images and provide the correct order of biological organization. I will give you 20 seconds to try to answer this. If you answer D, C, B, A, and E, then you are correct. The cell is the first level, which is the basic structural unit of life. The tissue is the next level, which is made of cells that perform a specific task. Organ is the next level, a system of tissues that work together to perform tasks of a larger scale. The organ system is next, which is made up of group of organs that work together to carry out specific body functions. And the organism. An organism, in this case, is a child, is a self-contained individual that is made up of different organ systems. Again, the correct order is D, cell, C, tissue, B, organ, A, organ system, and E, organism. This module has 2 parts. For this episode, we will go through Lesson 1. The first part is comparing plant and animal cells. The Lesson 1 objective is to differentiate plant cells from animal cells according to the presence or absence of certain organelles. After going through Lesson 1, you are expected to identify the organelles of a plant and animal cell, describe the functions carried out by each organelle, and explain the similarities and differences between animal and plant cells. Let us now answer the let us try part. Write the letter of your answer to the following questions. Number 1. Which of the following parts allow different activities of the cell to happen? A. Cytoplasm, B. Lysosome, C. Vacuole, D. Vesicle. The answer is letter A. Cytoplasm. Number 2. Which of the following functions will not take place if a plant cell's chloroplast is damaged? A. Protect the cell, B. Make food for the cell, C. Excrete waste materials, D. Give instruction for the cell to reproduce. The answer? Letter B. Make food for the cell. Number 3. Which part allows and prevents substances to go in and out of the cell? The answer? Plasma membrane. Number 4. What part of the cell stores water and maintains its rigidity? The answer? Vacuole. The table below enumerates the parts that are present or absent in two kinds of cells. Which is a plant cell? The correct answer is cell A. Which is an animal cell? The answer? Cell B. If you are asked to identify an unknown slide, which of the following could help you identify if it holds an animal cell? 1. Absence of centriole. 2. Irregular shape. 3. Presence of cell wall. 4. Angular and rigid shape. 5. Absence of chloroplast. A. 1 and 3, B. 2 and 5, C. 1 and 4, D. 3 and 4. The answer? Letter B. 2 and 5. Irregular shape and angular and rigid shape. Number 8. Based on the picture given on your module, which part of this cell functions for the excretion of waste materials? The answer? Number 2, lysosome. Number 9. Which is the control center of this cell? The answer, number 8, nucleus. Number 10. Which part of this cell plays a role during cell division? The answer, number 7, centrioles. Get all the correct answers? Good job, kids! Don't worry, when we come back, you will learn more about the topic as you get to take up different ideas and concepts of the new lesson after a short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Hello again, our dear grade 7 science learners. Are you all set? Please make sure to have your notes and pens ready. Kindly turn your modules on Let's Study part. Today, our topic is comparing plant and animal cells. All organisms, big or small, consist of cells. Some organisms are single-celled, composed of only one cell. Others are multicellular, possessing many cells that work together to form an organism. The moss plant, for example, is made up of hundreds and thousands of cells. Your body has billions of cells, while very large animals like elephants have trillions. Trees in a forest, fish in the river, horseflies on a farm, worms in the soil, all these plants and animals are made up of the building blocks we call cells. In the previous module, you learned that organisms have organ systems composed of different organs. These organs are made up of even smaller parts, namely tissues, and the smallest of which are the cells. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function of all life forms. It is the building block of all living organisms. It is a membrane-bound unit that contains the fundamental molecules of life. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function of all life forms. Cells may be unicellular or multicellular. A unicellular organism, also known as a single-celled organism, consists of a single cell. There are millions of kinds, from yeasts to algae and bacteria. Multicellular organisms are organisms that consist of more than one cell, in contrast to unicellular organism. All species of animals, land plants, and most fungi are multicellular, as are many algae. A cell has three basic parts: the nucleus, cell or plasma membrane, and the cytoplasm. The nucleus is a part of a cell which is easily seen through a microscope. It is a very important part because it controls all the activities of the other parts that occur within the cell. The cell membrane encloses the cell and separates what is inside it from its environment. It controls what goes in and what goes out of the cell. The plasma membrane or the cell membrane allows the entry of materials needed by the cell and eliminates those which are considered wastes. The cytoplasm consists of a jelly-like substance where all the other parts of the cell are located. It does not, however, include the area where the nucleus is found. Many different activities of the cell occur in the cytoplasm. Vacuoles are present in both plant and animal cells. In plant cells, they are large and usually occupy more than half of the cell space. They play a role in storing nutrients and increasing cell size during growth. Some plant vacuoles contain poisonous substances. Vacuoles also store water, thereby maintaining rigidity to cells and provide support for plants to stand upright. Plant cell vacuoles are responsible for the crisp appearance of fresh vegetables. Mitochondria provide the energy a cell needs to move, divide, produce secretory products, and contract. In short, they are the power centers of the cell. The Golgi apparatus is a membrane-bound structure with a single membrane. It is actually a stock of membrane-bound vesicles that are important in packaging macromolecules for the transport elsewhere in the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum can either be smooth or rough, and in general, its function is to produce proteins for the rest of the cell to function. A ribosome functions as a micromachine for making proteins. Lysosomes work like the digestive system to break down or digest proteins, acids, carbohydrates, dead organelles, and other unwanted materials. The main function of a centriole is to help with cell division and present only in animal cells. The centrioles are found in pairs and move towards the poles, opposite ends of the nucleus when it is time for cell division. The cell wall is made of stiff material that forms the outermost part of plant cells. It gives shape and protection to them. Chloroplasts are organelles that conduct photosynthesis, where the photosynthetic pigment chlorophyll captures the energy from sunlight. To deeply understand the concepts of the different organelles and structures of the cell, kindly turn your modules on Let Us Practice. These activities are exercises that help you discover and understand the concept. Study closely Figure 1 and 2. These are diagrammatic presentations of plant and animal cell and their parts. Compare the shape of a plant cell with that of an animal cell as shown in Figure 1 and Figure 2. Using the table, identify the organelles found in plant and animal cells. Your teacher will check your answers for this activity. Please use a separate sheet for your answers. To help you discover and gives you more clear ideas, an activity is provided for you to practice more. In Activity A, using the Venn diagram, cite the similarities and differences between the plant and animal cells. Fill the left outer part of the diagram with a list of the organelles only present in a plant cell. Next, fill the outer right part of the diagram with a list of organelles only found in animal cell. And lastly, complete the diagram by filling out the middle part with the organelles that are present in both plant and animal cells. I will give you 30 seconds to answer Activity A. Your timer starts now. Time's up! Are you done? Very good. Then let us try to check your answers of Activity A. The following organelles, nucleus, mitochondrion or mitochondria, plasma membrane or cell membrane, Golgi bodies or Golgi apparatus, vacuole, endoplasmic reticulum, cytoplasm, lysosomes, and ribosomes are both present in plant and animal cell. Only the cell wall and the chloroplast can be found in plant cell. And centriole is the organelle present only in an animal cell. Here's another activity for practice. Activity B. The scrambled letters in the first column refer to organelles found in plant and animal cells. Arrange them by using the description of its function in the second column as a clue. Number 1. Organelles that sort, modify, package, and distribute cell products to where they are needed. Number 2. Contains powerful enzymes that digest food particles. Number 3. Transports protein to different parts of the cell. Number 4. Functions during cell division. Number 5. The clear, thick, jelly-like substance inside the cell membrane that contains other organelles. Number 6. It serves as the control center of the cell. Number 7. Contains the chlorophyll and is found only in the plant cell. Number 8. Involved in making protein. Number 9. Serves as powerhouse of the cell. Number 10. Encloses the cell and separates what is inside it from its environment. The correct answers are the following. Number 1, Golgi bodies. 2, lysosomes. 3, endoplasmic reticulum. 4, centrioles. 5, cytoplasm. 6, nucleus. 7, chloroplast. 8, ribosomes. 9, mitochondria. And 10, plasma membrane. To summarize the lesson, here is another activity to help you recall. Please follow through your module in the Let Us Remember part. Ready? Let us see how well you can recall what you have learned about the cell. The first column shows the list of cell structures. Put a check mark if the structure is present and a cross mark or an X if the structure is absent under the column for plant and animal cell. You have 30 seconds to answer the table. And your timer starts now. Can you still remember all the structures or organelles present in plant and animal cells? Great! Now let us try to check the activity. Centriole is the structure absent in a plant cell. This means that you should put an X mark on the centriole for plant cell. And the cell wall and the chloroplast are absent in an animal cell. This means that you should put an X mark on the cell wall and the chloroplast on the animal cell column. Way to go, kids! You did a good job today. Let us do more tasks when we return after a short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
We're back, learners! For the last part of our session, we will try another activity to test your gained knowledge. Please open your modules on Let Us Assess part and try to answer the questions given. Please have your modules, notes, and pens ready as I read each item, and we will check your answers right after each question. Ready? Number 1. How is a plant cell similar to an animal cell? A. Both have nuclei, chloroplast, and cytoplasm. B. Both have cell walls, nuclei, and cell membrane. C. Both have nuclei, cytoplasm, and cell membranes. D. Both have cell walls, chloroplasts, and cell membranes. Answer: letter C. Both have nuclei, cytoplasm, and cell membranes. For item number 2, refer to the table found on your module, showing a comparison between 3 kinds of cell. Which 2 cells have come from the same organism? A and B, B and C, A and C, D, A, B, and C. The answer, letter C, cells A and C. Number 3. Which of the following statements about cells are true? 1. A cell is the smallest unit of life. 2. Not all living things are made up of cells. 3. Different cells have different shapes and functions. 4. As an organism grows bigger, the cells in the body increase in size. A. 1 and 3, B. 3 and 4, C. 1, 2, and 4, D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The answer, A. 1 and 3. Number 4. Which of the structures can be found in all plant cells? 1. Cell wall, 2. Cell membrane, 3. Cytoplasm, 4. Chloroplast. A. 1 and 3, B. 1, 2, and 3, C. 1, 2, and 4, D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The answer, letter D, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 5. Which of the following is not found in the cells of an onion plant? A. Chloroplast, B. Cell wall, C. Vacuole, D. Centriole. The answer, letter D, centriole. Number 6. Which of the following is not a part of the cell? A. Cell membrane, B. Enzyme, C. Cytoplasm and organelles, D. Nucleus. The answer, letter B, enzyme. Number 7. All of these are found in an animal cell except A. Cytoplasm, B. Nucleus, C. Plastids, D. Centrioles. The answer, letter C, plastids. Number 8. This is the organelle which directs the cell division. A. Cytoplasm, B. Plastids, C. Endoplasmic reticulum, D. Nucleus. The answer, letter D, nucleus. Number 9. Adding iodine solution to the onion cell preparation makes the cells A. Bigger, B. Smaller, C. Less visible, D. More visible. The answer, letter D, more visible. Number 10. Which of the following is not found in an animal cell? A. Mitochondria, B. Cell wall, C. Vacuole, D. Chloroplast. The answer, letter D, chloroplast. This time, we will check how well you mastered the lesson with this another activity. Let us enhance. Make your own model of a cell at home. Prepare any food like cake and fruits as your plant or animal cell model. For your cell structures, you could use chocolates, jelly, candies, and biscuits. Make your edible cell creative and attractive. After finishing your edible cell at home, take a picture and paste a picture of your edible cell on your answer sheets for your teacher to check it. You can serve your yummy dessert to your family after the activity while explaining to them each parts. Have fun! You have learned that cell is the basic unit of life, the basic building block of all living things. Each part and structures of the cell plays an important and specific role. Cells rely on their organelles to function well and survive. These little organs keep working for the cell to stay alive. Hooray! Good job, learners! Thank you for doing your best in each activities. Whenever you feel sad, just remember there are billions of cells in your body and all they care about is you. Thank you for listening, learners. This is Teacher Rosalie A. Alcocer of Nabuntura National Comprehensive High School with my content developer, Teacher Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas of Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. Until our next meeting, good day and God bless.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, ganun nga siya'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
You're still tuning in to 88.5 FM Z Radio, Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong Kuyaw.
My name is Teacher JL.
And I am Teacher Donna.
We are already in our second hour of today's edition of Radio Z-Eskwela. Check your time, Z. We have 17 past 11 o'clock in the morning. Time check is brought to us by McKinsey Builders and GPNH Construction Incorporated. Teacher Donna, kanilang ating natunghayan ang lesson presentation nagmula kay Ma'am Rosalie A. Alcosel, Teacher 2 of the Bunturan National Comprehensive High School, and Ma'am Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas, Teacher 1 of Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. That's Plant and Animal Cells. It's grade 7 Science. Teacher Donna.
Yes, Teacher JL. At ngayon, matutunghayan natin ang presentation ng Grade 8 Science, no, nila Ma'am Eliezer Bukas and Ma'am Soshmita Dayanara M. Relampagos for comets, asteroids, and meteors. Pero bago yan, Teacher JL, babatiin muna natin ang ating mga kaskwela na nakikinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon. We want to say hello to Fevelin Ventura agad, to Ma'am Mary Joy Vigafria Zenisa. Good morning, watching from Pangi Elementary School, Mako North District. Na yung pagpaminaw, Ma'am Mary Joy. To Ma'am Glyden Tabudlong, to Rio Carillo and Alma Luquiere. No, good morning sa inyo ha, umayong pagpaminaw. And to Georgie Marie Benito, sabi niya, hello po, watching from Mako Heights Central Elementary, Mako South. And when I say hello also to Jolly May Bacas and to Ma'am Ami Pejo. Sabi niya, good morning everyone. To Nicole Palma naman, hello, Science 8 po ito. Watching from Tagon. Magsa-Science 8 pa tayo ngayon, Nicole. So, antabayanan natin yan. To Ma'am Thelma Cadiz, Batalunan Nanalay. Good morning, mga kazilo. Ma'am Thelma, mayong pagpaminaw.
Alright, thank you so much, Teacher Donna. We're saying happy listening to Ma'am Marilyn Atamosa and Sir Tata Amusa. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, time for us to move to the next lesson, Teacher Donna.
Yes, no? Ngayon, grade 8 science naman tayo, mga kaskwela. Tunghayan natin ang ating content presenter na si Ma'am Sushmita A. Dayanara M. Relampagos, Teacher 1 from Andap National High School, along with her Creative Resource Material Developer, Teacher Eliezer Bukas, Teacher 3 from Monte Vista National High School. And we will be talking for grade 8 science, comets, asteroids, and meteors. Kaya, hone your skills and unlock your true potentials as you delve deep to the wonders and infinite possibilities of the world of science. Kaya Teacher JL, tara na, magklase na ta!
Good morning, Davao de Oro! Good morning, Z-Eskwela listeners, especially to all grade 8 students who are listening to us right now. I am your radio teacher, Miss Sushmita Dayanara M. Relampagos from Andab National High School, New Bataan District. And together with me is Mr. Eliezer M. Bukas from Monte Vista National High School, Monte Vista District. We are here happy to serve you for 45 minutes of bringing you with fun and exciting lessons in Science Grade 8. So, what are you waiting for? Sit back, relax, and join us as we discover the mystery of the different near-Earth objects. Once again, we are here to bring with you another lesson in science, and we hope you had already prepared your pens, record notebooks, and modules. And be sure that you already had eaten your lunch as we go through our discussion. Are you ready for today's lesson? That's good! Before we introduce to you our topic this morning, let us now have a short review of the previous lesson, which is about typhoon. You already know what to expect when a typhoon comes. We get many rains and strong winds. You may not have noticed it, but the winds in every typhoon move in an exceedingly circular direction. The tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon are categories of tropical cyclones. In simple terms, a tropical cyclone is a system of thunderstorms moving in a circular direction. As the winds strengthen or weaken, the category is upgraded or downgraded accordingly. For tropical depression, it has a maximum sustained winds up to 61 km per hour. For tropical storm, it has a maximum sustained winds of 62 to 88 km per hour. Severe tropical storm goes to 89 to 117 km per hour. Typhoon has 118 to 220 km per hour, and super typhoon has a maximum sustained winds exceeding 220 km per hour. The term typhoon is common in the northwestern part of the Pacific. Within the northeastern part of the Pacific Ocean and also in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean, the equivalent term of typhoon is hurricane. In the Philippines, we call all categories of tropical cyclone as bagyo. May it be a tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, or super typhoon. A tropical cyclone is a natural phenomenon that nobody can stop. We can only prepare for its arrival through the communications coming from Pag-asa. Weather forecast on television, on newspapers, and over the radio may assist in the dissemination of this information for the public to know. It is important as well to have a sufficient knowledge about these weather conditions for us to be ready and be safe when one hit our place. We also discussed what to do during typhoon. For example, what to do during public storm warning signal number 1. Very good! You have to listen to your radio for more information about weather disturbance. Second, check the ability of the house to withstand strong winds and strengthen it if necessary. Third, the people are advised to monitor the latest severe weather bulletin issued by Pag-asa every 6 hours. In the meantime, business may be carried out as usual except when flood occurs. Since tropical cyclone is considered as one of the most destructive natural disasters that affects the lives of many people and causes tremendous loss of properties, here are the effects of tropical cyclone that can leave a significant mark on the lives of people. First is the strong winds. The surface wind increases in magnitude and is maintained over a time interval of several minutes to half an hour. The increase in wind speed may occur abruptly or slowly. These changes in near landfall can lead to loss of lives and large damage to properties. Second is tornadoes. These are produced by tropical cyclone characterized by a violent and destructive whirling wind accompanied by a funnel-shaped cloud. A weak tornado has a wind speed of about 64 to 116 km per hour. Third, rainfall and flooding. Rainfall associated with tropical cyclone is both beneficial and harmful. Rains contribute to the water needs of the areas traversed by the tropical cyclone. The rains are harmful when the amount is way too large as to cause flooding. Fourth, storm surge. This is an abnormal rise of water due to tropical cyclone, and it is an oceanic event. These devastating surges occur along coast with low-lying terrain. After an emergency, we may need to survive on our own for several days. We should have our own emergency kit that will last us for at least 72 hours. An emergency kit is a collection of basic items that a household should have in the event of an emergency like a typhoon. Most of the things included in the kit are inexpensive and easy to find and can save your life. Make sure your emergency kit has the following items: water, food, cellular phone with charger and power bank, transistor radio and batteries, whistle, flashlight and batteries, waterproof bag, personal hygiene items, important documents, 15-meter rope, extra clothes, pocket knife, first aid kit, mattress, blanket, money, lighter, and watch. There you have it, our previous lesson, which is all about typhoons. Now, we are done with our review, and to test your prior knowledge on today's concepts, kindly open your module on What I Know, page 2 to 4, and let's try to answer some guide questions. In your comfortable seats, let's read the instruction first. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1. What are commonly called as shooting stars? A. Asteroids, B. Comets, C. Meteors, D. Meteorites. Answer letter C. Meteors. Number 2. What are found in the circular or somewhat like donut-shaped region between Mars and Jupiter? A. Asteroids, B. Comets, C. Meteors, D. Meteorites. Answer letter A. Asteroids. Number 3. Which near-Earth objects are found on the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud? A. Asteroids, B. Comets, C. Meteors, D. Meteorites. Answer letter B. Comets. Number 4. What are comets made of? A. Dust only. B. Metal only. C. Dust and metal. Letter D. Dust, metal, and ice. Answer letter D. Dust, metal, and ice. Number 5. What do you call the shining head around a comet? A. Comma. B. Crown. C. Halo. D. Ring. Answer letter A. Comma. Number 6. What do you call the depression caused by the objects that fell on a planet or moon? A. Canyon. B. Crater. C. Plateau. D. Pothole. Answer letter B. Crater. Number 7. Which could have probably caused the extinction of dinosaurs? A. They caught the flu. B. An asteroid hit the Earth. C. They ate each other until they went extinct. D. A meteorite came and hit the Earth, causing their extinction. Answer letter B. An asteroid hit the Earth. Number 8. What causes the bright sparks of light brought by meteors? A. Humidity. B. Air friction. C. Condensation. D. Atmospheric pressure. Answer letter B. Air friction. Number 9. What is the major difference among comet, meteor, and asteroids in terms of structure? A. Comet contains icy shell while asteroid and meteors do not have. Letter B. Meteor contains icy shell while asteroid and comet do not have. Letter C. Asteroid and comet contain icy shell while meteor does not have. D. Asteroid contains icy shell while comet and meteor do not have. Answer letter A. Comet contains icy shell while asteroid and meteors do not have. Number 10. Which of the following is the correct location of comets? A. Kuiper belt. B. Asteroid belt. C. Neptune's orbit. D. Earth's atmosphere. Answer letter A. Kuiper belt. Well done, learners! I guess you are now ready for our next lesson. What do you think would be our lesson for today? This time, we will discuss with you another lesson about comets, asteroids, and meteors. We hope that you will be able to achieve our objective for today. What would be our objective? At the end of this session, you will be able to compare and contrast the comets, asteroids, and meteors. So, are you now ready to listen? Fabulous! Now, sit back and relax, because after a short break, we will start our lesson.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I'm back, learners! We will discuss this time the comets, asteroids, and meteors. Let's start with the comet. A comet is a celestial body composed of dust, rock, metals, ice, frozen gases, ammonia, methane, carbon dioxide, and other organic compounds. Its shape could be varied or irregular. The orbit of a comet is more elongated or elliptical in shape since it extends from the far region of the solar system. Comets typically come from the Oort cloud, which is beyond the solar system, and some from the Kuiper belt, which is beyond the Neptune's orbit. Long-period comets originate from the Oort cloud, which have orbital period of several thousand years, while a short-period comet comes from the Kuiper belt, which have an orbital period of less than 200 years. Comet Halley is the most well-known short-period comet of the 20th century, since it takes 75 to 76 years for this comet to orbit the Sun. We can view it in the sky every time it comes closer to the Sun. All other comets have been identified as long-period comets since it takes 200 to several thousand years to complete their orbit around the Sun. Kindly refer to your module on page 8 for the anatomy of a comet. The dirty snowball made of ice is the nucleus of a comet. As the comet gets closer to the Sun, the ice melts and evaporates together with dust particles. These particles of gases make a shining head around the comet called a coma. Do you understand now what a comet is? Very good! Now, let's move on to what we call as asteroids. An asteroid is a celestial body composed of dust, rock, and metals like silicate, iron, and nickel, including olive and pyroxene. Silicates are types of metal that contain silicon, oxygen, and at least one metal. If an asteroid has fewer silicate content, then it would be hard to see it even with the aid of a telescope because only a small part of the asteroid can reflect light, and it might seem smaller than its actual size. Asteroids originate from the asteroid belt. These are found between Mars and Jupiter. The reason theory states that the asteroid belt was heavily populated with asteroids. But the gravitational pull of Jupiter has made these asteroids thrown. It was also theorized that Jupiter's gravitational pull prevented these asteroids from forming into a new planet. Another group of astronomical researchers theorized that the asteroid belt was an empty space, and the debris of other planets have filled this area with the objects which are then called asteroids. The orbit of an asteroid is more rounded and less elliptical than the orbit of a comet. In February 2013, asteroid 2012 Day A14 made a closer approach to Earth as it orbited around the Sun. The asteroid was just 27,700 kilometers away from the Earth, the closest that an asteroid has ever been in recent memory. In December 2012, during the issue of the Doomsday Prophecies, asteroid 230 has made a near approach to Earth, but not as close as asteroid 2012 Day A14. The composition of an asteroid provides information to the chemical compositions of planets in the solar system. Iron and nickel are the asteroid's components, which are the same metals that make up the Earth's core. An element called iridium was discovered on oceanic sedimentary layers of Denmark, Italy, and New Zealand by Alvarez brothers, namely Luis and Walter Alvarez. They have discovered the rocks that contains higher level of iridium compared to the Earth's crust, which is with the same level of iridium of the asteroid. Because of this, they have presumed that asteroids landed on Earth that caused the death of the dinosaurs. They came up to their hypothesis, which was later called as Alvarez hypothesis. Based on Alvarez hypothesis, an asteroid with about 10 kilometers in diameter made an impact on Earth. This phenomenon caused the blocking of sunlight in the air, bringing a period of long winter that caused the mass extinction of plants and animals, including the dinosaurs. Are you still with me, class? Fabulous! This time, let's proceed to the discussion about meteors. Kindly turn your module on page 9 and look at the pictures on figure 2 and 3. Let's begin with the meteoroids. Meteoroids are remnants or fragments of asteroids and comets located outside the Earth's atmosphere. Meteoroids originated from the collision of asteroids. They were also known to be the debris of comets that travel around the Sun, or debris from the impact of collision of Mars or the Moon with asteroids. When these meteoroids enter the Earth's atmosphere, it will then be called meteors. When these landed on the Earth's ground, it is then called meteorites. An object that begins as a meteoroid skimming through space creates a streak of light as a meteor, or commonly known as shooting star, as it enters Earth's atmosphere. If it was not vaporized completely by frictional heat and was able to land on the Earth's ground, it is called meteorite. There are times in the year where we can observe meteor showers occurring when the Earth passes through debris left by comets or asteroids. Good job, learners! Let's turn back in page 6 and take a look on Table 1. The table shows the summary of comparison of characteristics of comets, meteors, and asteroids. Can you now compare and contrast the comets, asteroids, and meteors? That's good! That's all for today, grade 8 learners. We are finally done with our discussion. So I guess you are now ready to take the quiz. After this short break, kindly prepare any sheets of paper for our evaluation. Good luck!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I'm back, learners. Are you now ready for your quiz? I guess you are quite ready and excited. Learners, kindly open your module on page 16 to 18. Let us read the instruction together. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1. Which of the statements is correct? A. Only asteroids collide with Earth. Letter B. Comets are ball of ice, dust, and metal. Letter C. Meteoroids are streak of light produced when comet enters Earth's atmosphere. Letter D. Only asteroids can be found in the solar system. Number 2. What do you call the fragments or debris that resulted from the collision of asteroids or comets? A. Meteors. B. Meteoroids. C. Oort cloud. Letter D. Kuiper belt. Number 3. What is the bright glow around the head of a comet? A. Comma. B. Crown. C. Halo. D. Ring. Number 4. What is the name of the famous comet that can be seen from Earth every 75 to 76 years? A. Hale-Bopp. B. Comet Halley. C. Comet Tempel 1. D. Shoemaker-Levy 9. Number 5. What is the correct term for a shooting star? A. Asteroid. B. Comet. C. Falling star. D. Meteor. Number 6. What is an asteroid belt? A. It has rocks crossing the Sun, Mars, and Jupiter. Letter B. It has rocks crossing the Sun, Jupiter, and Uranus. Letter C. It is an area between Mars and Jupiter where most asteroids are found. Letter D. It has rocks between the Earth and Jupiter where most asteroids are found. Number 7. What is a meteorite? It is a blank. A. Dim meteor. B. Bright meteor. C. Meteoroid that lights up. Letter D. Remains of meteoroids that hit the Earth. Number 8. What is a comet? It is a and blank. A. Rock from Mars. Letter B. Class of smaller inner solar system bodies that orbit around the Sun. Letter C. Icy ball of rock that displays a coma, a fuzzy temporary atmosphere, or a tail when it travels close to the Sun. Letter D. A natural object from small to huge that originates in space and survives the impact on the Earth's surface. Number 9. What composes silicate? A. Silicon, oxygen, and at least one metal. Letter B. Silicon, carbon, and at least one metal. Letter C. Silicon, methane, and a rock. Letter D. Iron, nickel, and argon. Number 10. Why do scientists study comets? A. They are valuable minerals. Letter B. They could provide Earth with rocks. Letter C. They can help make the Earth a habitable planet. Letter D. They provide information how the Earth obtained liquid water. Okay, let us check your work. Number 1, B. Number 2, B. Number 3, A. Number 4, B. Number 5, D. Number 6, C. Number 7, D. Number 8, C. Number 9, A. And number 10, D. Who among you got perfect? Very good! How about those students who got below the median? Good! Nothing to worry about. We still have plenty of assessment. Once again, congratulations everyone! Again, we hope that you were able to compare and contrast comets, asteroids, and meteors. Once again, thank you so much for listening and see you on next session through radio-based instruction. I am Miss Sushmita from Andap National High School, and together with me is Sir Eliezer from Monte Vista National High School for the class on the air in Grade 8 Science. For those concepts which is not clear to you, you can put your comments, suggestions, and questions on our FB page. Thank you so much!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, Cecil 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Fabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. U, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banians. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Patuloy pa rin po kayo natutok dito sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. It was Teacher JL.
And I am Teacher Donna.
Hindi nyo kami nakikita ngayon. Oo. Kasi meron tayong power interruption right here sa ating FM station. That's why please do not wonder kung hindi niyo po nakikita ang mga magandang mukha ni Teacher Donna. At syempre, ang gwapo kong mukha. Ayan. Oo, kasi madilim masyado dito sa loob ng booth natin. Kaya,
Pero patuloy pa rin ang ating
yes, ang ating pagbibigay leksyon sa kanila, Teacher Donna. Right, Teacher Donna, bago tayo say goodbye sa kanila, no? Binabati muna natin ang mga viewers natin. Of course, teka muna ha. Sina Ma'am Annalyn Cagadas, Ma'am Rosemary Diocampo, Ma'am Maria Luz Berzo Malino, and Ma'am Edna Bautista Loca. Daghang salamat sa papaminaw. And sa tanang naminaw nato gikan alas 10 hantod karong takna. Og inyong syempre na dungog ang lesson presentation ni Ma'am Sushmita Dayanara M. Relampagos o Sir Elizer Rebucas of Monte Vista National High School. That's grade 8 science, Teacher Donna.
Yes.
Right. So, kailan tayo babalik, Teacher Donna?
Yes, babalik po kami Teacher JL bukas po ng umaga at bukas ng hapon tayo, Thursday, Huwebes, no, from 12 noon hanggang 2 p.m. po. Makakasama ninyo si Teacher JL at Teacher Donna.
Right. Susunod na po ang tambalan ni Teacher Maymay and Drew mula alas 12 hanggang hanggang alas 2 ng hapon. Wala na po tayong sapat na oras. Ito po si Teacher JL.
And I am Teacher Donna.
Sa pong karangalan ang makapaglingkod sa inyo ngayong araw na ito. Maraming salamat. Hanggang sa muli. Dito lang sa Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Dalay ka ng Diyos.
Sugata ang adlaw with a smile. Tune in na sa radio, been alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, nga papuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka muadto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawan na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawan na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawan na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawan na Pagsibya, Z-Radio. Don't stop. Sa Z-Radio, tagaan mong lingaw. Kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop. Chillin' while we tune in sa radio. All day, all night, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Bisan o gasa pa kapadulong, sa balay man o trabaho. Giving you the best music and everything, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawan na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawan na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawan na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawan na Pagsibya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawan na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawan na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawan na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawan na Pagsibya, Z-Radio.
Katambalan ng pag-ahon, isang bansang puso ay pinag-iisa.
Nang diin, lahat tayo'y uunlad at aangat.
Hilyan tayo, kabrigada, diwa ng bayanihan, atin ang hanggang simula. Man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayan at kabrigada, lahat ang ika'y gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paalala ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paaralan, tinatawag na tahanan.
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin.
Ito lang,
Kapit lang,
sama-sama,
walang iwanan.
mananatiling magkasangga.
Langit ay kakampirin natin, ano man ang mararating. Mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayan at kabrigada, lahat ay kayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. liwanag tayo.
Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin ang pagbabago, kahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ng iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin saan patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ng iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay,
Pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ng iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Laging handa. Laging handa. Baha, tagtuyot, sunog, lindol, bagyo, mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan, kaya naman kailangan ngang paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo, gawin
oportunidad ay maaasahang darating.
Sa di inaasahang oras,
Kaya naman hindi na dapat hintayin. Unahan na habang di pa natataranta.
maging handa, maging alerto.
Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya
Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa.
Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka pa nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot, pagkain, kumot, pang sindi, first aid kit. Mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang bulkan, meron bang madadaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda.
Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Di mo alintana mga batikos at pangungutya, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Ika'y di sumusuko, lumalaban at nangangako. Maihatid pa rin ang serbisyong totoo. Para sa kabataan, ginagawa ang lahat. Maibigay lang ang edukasyong karapat-dapat. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Ika'y pinangungunahan ng isang superwoman. Walang iba, Madam Leonor Briones lang naman. Sa ngalan ng serbisyo, dedikasyon sa trabaho, pagmamahal ng isang ina, nararamdaman ko. Ikaw ang humuhubog sa aming kinabukasan. Laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng kabataan. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. Udeped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Z Radio 88.5.
Check your time mga kazi, it's already 12:18 na sa Udto. Again, alas 12:18 na sa Udto mga kazi. And of course, time check atod ka nato ni Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora. Isang magandang tanghali po sa lahat ng ating mga Zuking listeners. Saan mang dako po kayo naroroon ngayon. And hopefully no, nakapaniud to na ang tanan. Ayan, happy lunchtime everyone. Magpakabusog po kayo. So sa mga wala pa nangaon, paniud to na mo. And don't skip your meal. Samahan niyo po kami as we continue our program for today. And it's Wednesday edition. Kami po ang inyong makakasama. I am Mamay Resma po.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Samahan niyo po kami hanggang alas 2 ng hapong ito. Ayan, hello Sir Drew.
Hi Teacher Mai, maayong utos sa atong tanan, maayong utos sa atong mga Zuking tigpaminaw, most especially sa atong mga learners across the province, maayong utos sa atong mga fellow teachers na naka-skeletal workforce sa ilang mga tagsa-tagsa na mga eskwelahan, maayong utos sa atong mga personahe din na nagipangunahan na sa ato ang SDS sa Division Office na si Ma'am Eufema Tigamutin together with our ASDS Dr. Mel Handayan.
Yes, to the rest of our mga personahe diha, no? Hello po sa inyo, isang magandang tanghali po. Labaw na sa atuang EPS, atong featured subject for today which is science. Hello to Ma'am Cecilia Morales, maayong udto kanimo Ma'am.
And also maayong udto po sa atong mga RBI directors na si Ma'am Arlene Lim and Ma'am Normie Canales.
Alas 12:20 na po, and for the benefit of those nakaka-tune in lang, Sir Drew, so ano-ano ba ang mga natalakay na kanina together with Sir JL and Ma'am Donna?
That's right, Teacher Mai. As a recap po, in the first hour po ng ating episode for today, we have our grade 7 science na may topic na plant and animal cells. At sinundan yan ng ating grade 8 science na may topic na comets, asteroids, and meteors.
Yes, so ito naman ang mga dapat nyong abangan as we continue our program sa araw na ito. We have our grade 9 science. Ang atin pong pag-uusapan is the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond. And mamaya naman po for our grade 10 is ang electromagnetic magnetic waves. So samahan niyo po kami sa ating pagtuklas ng mga bagong kaalaman.
That's right, Teacher Mai. And speaking of our honor dito sa ating paboritong istasyon, we do have our cross-line streaming gamit ang ating Facebook application. All you have to do is to like, to follow, subscribe our FB pages such as the Facebook Live at the Z Radio 88.5, DepEd Division of Davao de Oro, and the Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro. And with those FB pages po mga kazi, feel free to comment in the comment boxes. And for your questions, recommendations, o mga pangutana with regards to our episode, so isulat lang or i-type lang sa mga comment sections. And of course, sa itong mga featured subject learners ngayon na grade 7, 8, 9, and 10 learners, so be ready. Please notify us with your attendance, which is meron tayong attendance link na makikita sa ating mga FB screens at nakapin sa comment box section. So our attendance link for today is https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela 0407. That's it. And also po, para sa hindi naka-on air at hindi nakatutok sa ating episode for today, if you want to review all our lesson presentations sa ating programang Radyo Z-Eskwela, so kindly like and subscribe our YouTube channel, which is the Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. Again, our YouTube channel is Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO, and naka-live din tayo sa ating YouTube channel, Teacher Mai.
Ayan, so sa ating mga Zuking listeners, no, just keep your messages coming in sa inyong mga mensahe nga buot ipaabot ka na mo. So just keep sending and feel free nga mo-comment sa atong mga comment boxes. Alas 12:22 and magpadayon ta sa atong klase, Sir Drew.
Yes, we will start this afternoon for the grade 9 science. So may topic dito na the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond. Makakasama natin dito bilang content presenter, isang teacher 3 from Lorenzo Sarmiento Senior National High School. We have Sir Noel D. Paran, and also to his creative resource material developer, isang teacher 1 from Attorney Orlando Estremando National High School. We have Ma'am Shella Fer G. Nocos.
Manatili pa rin pong naka-tune in at tumutok sa ating programa. Ito po ang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Kaya naman,
tara na, magklase na ta!
Good day, province of Davao de Oro, and hello, Z-Radio listeners. Basta Z-Radio, siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. Welcome to Grade 9 Science. Here, we do not only bring you the facts, but we also bring you the fun. I am Teacher Parts of Lorenzo S. Sarmiento Senior National High School. With me is Ma'am Sheila from Attorney Orlando S. Sarmiento Senior National High School. Today's topic will focus on Grade 9 Science, specifically on Quarter 2, Module 2, which entitled The Formation of an Ionic and Covalent Bond. Are you now ready? Great! But first, I want you to bring out your module and we will answer questions 1 to 5 in your pre-test. Let's begin!
Let us now begin with our pre-test. Here's the instruction. Choose the letter that corresponds to the correct answer. Write the letter of your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Question number 1. Ionic bonds are formed between A. Two metals, B. Two non-metals, C. Two non-reactive elements, D. Metals and non-metals. Again, ionic bonds are formed between A. Two metals, B. Two non-metals, C. Two non-reactive elements, D. Metals and non-metals. Question number 2. In forming ionic bonds, A. Electrons are shared by two metals, B. Electrons are transferred from non-metals to metals, C. Electrons are accepted by metals from non-metals, D. Electrons are released by metals and accepted by non-metals. Again, in forming ionic bonds, A. Electrons are shared by two metals, B. Electrons are transferred from non-metals to metals, C. Electrons are accepted by metals from non-metals, D. Electrons are released by metals and accepted by non-metals. Question number 3. Reactive metals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. Left part of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Again, reactive metals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. Left part of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Question number 4. Reactive nonmetals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. The left side of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Again, Reactive nonmetals are mostly found at the A, the right part of the periodic table, B, the left side of the periodic table, C, middle part of the periodic table, D, lower part of the periodic table. Number 5. In order to have a complete transfer of electron or electrons, the electron negativity difference of the two combining elements must be A, less than 1.9, B, greater than 1.9, C, equal to 4, D, equal to 0. Again, in order to have a complete transfer of electron or electrons, the electron negativity difference of the two combining elements must be A, less than 1.9, B, greater than 1.9, C, equal to 4, D, equal to 0.
Students, after the break, we will have to continue with our lesson. Have fun!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Welcome back to Science 9. Are you now ready to our discussion for today about formation of an ionic bond and covalent bond?
But before that, how about your activity? Are you done answering it? If that's so, please place your answers to your portfolio and prepare yourselves for the discussion of our topic.
Hi there! Welcome to our topic today, formation of an ionic bond and covalent bond. What comes to your mind when you hear the word ion? You may have seen it in some drinks or on the battery packs of your gadgets and devices. But in this video, we will be discussing first regarding ions. So let's get started. Ions are atoms that carry either a positive or a negative charge. These charges are a result of atom gaining or losing electrons. But how do atom gains or lose electrons? We know that in an atom, electrons orbit around the nucleus. The valence electrons are the electrons found in an outermost shell of an atom. These are the electrons that are lost or gained in the process of forming ions. The elements in the periodic table are arranged according to increasing atomic number. The rows are called periods, and columns are called groups, which is numbered 1 and 2 respectively. Group number in the periodic table gives us the numbers of valence electrons in its outermost energy shell. For example, carbon, which belongs to group 4A, has 4 valence electrons. Electronegativity is the ability of an atom to attract electrons. The higher the electronegativity value of an atom, the higher is its ability to attract electrons. In period 2 of the periodic table, Fluorine is located at the rightmost part of the row. Hence, fluorine has the highest electronegativity value, and it is the atom that is most likely to attract electrons. Thus, it has the highest tendency to gain electrons and become negatively charged. Generally, non-metals are the ones that tend to gain electrons and become negatively charged ions. They are called anions. When atoms gain electrons in its outermost shell, the number of their negatively charged electrons exceed those of the positively charged protons. Thus, they carry a negative charge. Ionization energy is the energy required to pull or remove electrons from an atom. This energy breaks the attraction between the nucleus and the valence electrons. The lower the ionization energy value of an atom, the easier it is to remove an electron from that atom. In period 2 in the periodic table, lithium is located at the leftmost part of the row. And if the element having the lowest ionization energy, it has the highest tendency to lose electrons and become positively charged. Generally, metals are the ones that tend to lose electrons and become positively charged ions. They are called cations. Atoms that loosen electrons in its outermost shell carry a positive charge because by losing electrons, the number of positively charged protons exceed those of negatively charged electrons. Electron affinity is the energy that an atom releases when it accepts an electron. It is therefore a measure of the tendency of an atom to attract an electron. Atoms are electrically neutral despite them having charge of atomic particles like the negatively charged electrons and the positively charged protons. Atoms are neutral because the number of negatively charged electrons and positively charged protons are equal. Thus, an atom is stable. Atoms need to lose or gain electrons in order to be stable. They become stable when their outermost part of the shell or valence shell contains 8 electrons, which satisfies the octet rule. So what is the octet rule? Octet rule refers to the tendency of atoms to prefer having an 8 electrons in the valence shell. When atoms have fewer than 8 electrons, they tend to react to form more stable compounds. Remember our example about fluorine when we discussed about an ion? We learned earlier that fluorine has the highest electronegativity value in the period, and it is the atom that is most likely to attract electrons. Why not neon? Because neon is a noble gas or stable element. They already have 8 valence electrons, and they are called noble because they don't have to lose or gain electrons in order to satisfy the octet rule. To illustrate the atoms from their neutral state to their ionized state, we make use of the Bohr model. Here is fluorine in its neutral state. Fluorine has 7 valence electrons and thus need another electron to be stable. In its ionized state, fluorine will be negatively charged due to the addition of another electron. In this state, fluorine is now stable. It has followed the octet rule. The size of the anion fluorine increase due to the repulsion among valence electrons. Here is the lithium in its normal state. It has 1 valence electrons to be stable. Lithium needs to lose its valence electrons and be positively charged. The size of the cations with its lithium decreases due to the reduction of valence electrons in its shell. Now, let's wrap things up. Ions are atoms that lose or gain electrons. And ions are negatively charged ions because they have more electrons than protons. Cations are positively charged ions because they have more protons than electrons. Valence electrons are electrons in the outermost energy shell of an atom. These electrons are directly involved in any chemical activity. And now, let us proceed to covalent bonding. What do you think is its difference from the ion bonding? Well, covalent bonding, also called molecular bond, it is a chemical bond that involves sharing of electron pairs between atoms. It commonly occurs when two nonmetals bond together. When you say nonmetals, it has strong energy attractions or high electronegativity compared to metals. They do not need to give electrons to be stable. Instead, they gain or share electrons to gain stability. For now, let us see the periodic table on where to find the nonmetal elements to be used in covalent bonding. In our periodic table, we can see the nonmetal elements in the right side. Remember, they are not the only ones we call nonmetal elements. It also includes the hydrogen. Aside from nonmetal elements, metalloids can also be involved during the covalent bond, depending on the situation. There are two types of covalent bonding: the nonpolar covalent bond and the polar covalent bond. Nonpolar covalent bond is when electrons are shared equally. For example, hydrogen has no electronegativity difference. Hydrogen has only one electron in its covalent shell. Thus, it needs another electron to become stable. If we apply the concept of covalent bond, hydrogen needs another one covalent shell to achieve stability. It could be possible if meeting another non-metal element that is willing to share with its electron, which will make them both benefited. Let's use another hydrogen atom so that we can come up with the hydrogen gas with the chemical formula of H2. Because they both need one electron each in its respective valence shell, they are going to share electron so that they could be stable without losing electron. It pertains to single bond. It happens when two atoms share in a pair of electrons. Another example is the two oxygen atoms to obtain oxygen gas, which has chemical formula of O2. Here, two oxygen atoms has both 6 electrons to its valence shell. Both of them need 2 more electrons to become stable. Thus, they will share electrons according to how much they need to meet stability. Occurs, double covalent bond happens when two atoms share 2 pairs of electrons to obtain stability. The same thing happens to the triple bond. What is polar covalent bonding? Remember that the concept of covalent bonding that no element shall give up and no element shall gain. Instead, both of them shall benefit or will share only because both of them need one electron to share to achieve stability. Example: 2 atoms of hydrogen plus 1 atom of oxygen. As you can see, they both have different electrons in its valence shell. Yet, they have the same desire, that is, to achieve stability without gaining or losing. It could only be possible if one atom of oxygen shared to the two atoms of hydrogen, so that both of them will benefited. If they share each other and become stable, we come up with the so-called water, which has a chemical formula of H2O. And now, let us sum up our learnings regarding the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond. In terms of elements involved, ionic bond involves metal and non-metals, while covalent bond involves two non-metals. In terms of process, ionic bond transfer of electrons, while covalent bond sharing of electrons. In terms of boiling point and melting point, ionic bond is high, while covalent bond is low. In terms also of polarity, ionic bond is high, while covalent bond is low. In terms of state, ionic bond is solid state at room temperature, while covalent bond is liquid or gaseous at room temperature. And that concludes our discussion for today regarding the formation of an ionic bond and covalent bond. Please prepare yourselves for the short assessment after the break. Happy learning, grade 9 students of Davao de Oro!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
It's assessment time. I hope you are all ready for our assessment for today. Here's the instruction. I want you to get a piece of paper and provide me with your answer. I am going to read the question twice. And I am going to begin with question number 1. How is covalent bond formed? Letter A, transfer of electrons. Letter B, sharing of electrons. Letter C, losing of electrons. Letter D, gaining of electrons. I repeat, how is covalent bond formed? Letter A, transfer of electrons. Letter B, sharing of electrons. Letter C, losing of electrons. And letter D, gaining of electrons. Moving on to question number 2. How many types of bonds can oxygen atom form? Letter A, 1. Letter B, 2. Letter C, 3. Letter D, 4. I repeat, how many types of bonds can oxygen atom form? A, 1. B, 2. C, 3. D, 4. Let's have the third question. What kind of bond will result when two nonmetallic atoms combine? Letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. I repeat, what kind of bond will result when two nonmetallic atoms combine? Letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. Moving on to the fourth question. In H2O molecule, the atoms are held by letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, polar covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. I repeat, in H2O molecule, the atoms are held by letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, polar covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. We are now on the last and final question. The fifth question. A covalent bond, letter A, involves shared electrons. Letter B, is formed by sharing protons. Letter C, results from the transfer of electrons. Letter D, it is called electrovalent. I repeat, a covalent bond, letter A, involves shared electrons. Letter B, is formed by sharing protons. Letter C, results from the transfer of electrons. Letter D, it is also called electrovalent. Are you done with our assessment? Great! And that concludes our lesson for today. We hope that you learned something from the discussion about photosynthesis and respiration. Keep safe, everyone. God bless.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee, the Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte, Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
We are back mga kazi, oras nato karon, alas 12:52 na sa hapon. Time check ato gihapon ka na to sa Apex Mining Company Incorporated ug sa Pahati Construction. Yes Sir Drew, we're done airing our third lesson presentation for today's episode mga kazi.
That's right. So it was about the grade 9 science na may topic na the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond. And we would like to say thank you to the teacher 3 coming from the Radyo Z-Eskwela International High School. We have Sir Noel D. Paran together with the Creative Resource Material Developer, isang teacher 1 from Attorney Orlando Rimanol Senior National High School na si Ma'am Shella Fiji Nocus.
Ayan, maraming thank you po and congratulations. Paalala po sa lahat ng ating mga content presenters along with the material developer, lalong-lalo yung mga sasalang this week and next week to kindly submit your material ahead of time po. Tagaan na to og taas-taas nga panahon. Ang ato ang team, laban na to ang mga editors nga ma-check ang inyong mga materials ug ma-enhance kung dunay angay i-enhance bago nato masalang dinhi sa ato ang programa. So daghan kaayong salamat sa inyong makanunayong pagsabot.
That's right. So again, we would like to remind all our learners, grade 7, 8, 9, and 10 to fill out our attendance link, which is the https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela 0407 para makita nyo naman kung nag-participate ba mo sa atong RBI classes for today.
Yes, maraming thank you po. And now for the meantime, nais naming magpasalamat at batian natin Sir Drew ang ating mga program sponsors. Maraming thank you. Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated.
Marek Builders Incorporated.
Mitch Construction and Supply.
Arkikens Architecture Construction and Supply.
DB Construction and Supply.
Kinaoy Builders Corporation.
Phoenix Curvada Tagum Gasoline Station.
Master Construction and Supply.
Mackenzie Builders.
And Jeep and H Construction Incorporated.
Yes, maraming thank you po. Mga kazi, live na live gihapon kita karon no, o bani gihapon mininyo ni Sir Drew tulo na ka lesson presentation ang ato ang napakita Sir Drew. So which means to say, do na pa isa nga nahibilin, and that would be grade 10 science. So sa dili madugay no ato ana kining masaksihan. But for the meantime, again mga kazi, live na live gihapon kita karon sa atong mga social media platforms. Live kita via Facebook Live at Z Radio 88.5, DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro, and sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro.
That's right, Teacher Mine. Also, we are also live sa ato ang YouTube channel na Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. Again, we are live sa ating YouTube channel na Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. And if you have your greetings po mga kazi, mga questions and mga recommendations with regards sa atong programa, fill out or comment on the comment boxes po sa ating mga FB pages. If you're not online po mga kazi, feel to reach out sa ato ang official mobile number, which is the 0953-211-3492.
Alas 12:55 na po. Nalang me to say hi sa mga district head sa Nabunturan is District to Ma'am Rosario A. Nunez. Sa maayong hapon kanimo ma'am. And of course, ako ang mga kaubanan diha sa Cao National High School nga naadiha karon busy no sa ilahang mga gipang buhat. Mga ma'am and sir, mga igsoon, hello po sa inyo. Labaw na sa mga head diha nga si Ma'am Norma Baruiz. Hello po sa inyo dyan. Magandang hapon.
Same with me po. Hi sa ako ang or sa amo ang school head din sa Tuburan National High School na si Sir Rogelio Jojo Guno, and also sa akong mga kaubanan din na naka-skeletal workforce sina Ma'am Reyros Verdadero, Ma'am Lina Asnabatino, Ma'am Giselle Bantilan, Sir Ruel Fernandez, and Sir Tito Fernandez.
Yes po, at nais rin nating acknowledge ang ating team today, ang Team Wednesday. Kasama po natin si Sir Ralph Tabanyag as our VMix operator.
Hi also to Sir Angelo Gutierrez.
Hello also sa ating secretariat na si Ma'am Irene Lea Manghuhon.
And also to Ma'am Jade Karen Araiz.
Yes, nandyan pa rin po si Sir JL at Ma'am Don, ang ating mga co-anchors na nakasama niyo po kanina. So yan po ang ating Team Wednesday for today. Alas 12:56 na mga kazi. Ayan no, so nagpaabot mi sa inyong mga mensahe. So again, kung doon na kamo yung mga gustong i-greet, ipang shoutout diha, ug sa uban pa ninyong mga komento, ayaw mo pagduha-duha, ayaw kaulaw sa pag-send sa inyong mga mensahe. Sama sa gikaingon ni Sir Drew kung na minaw lang mo karon via radio, no?
Yes.
So pwede kayo mo manawag or mo text sa atuang numerong 0953-211-3492.
That's right. If you're using your smartphones or Android phones, feel free to download sa inyong mga Google Play and Play Store or ang Z-Radio application para ma-notify mo sa tanan natong programa, not only the Radyo Z-Eskwela, but whole programs po sa atong paboritong istasyon din sa Z-Radio 88.5 FM.
Yes, so please do subscribe na po sa ato ang YouTube channel. It's Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. And palike na rin ang ating mga videos, mga ka-Z. And don't forget also to hit the notification bell para pina-uptick ma-notify mo kung doon na tayo mga bagong videos nga ato ang i-upload. Ayan, sa mga kakatune in lang po, kayo nakikinig pa rin sa inyong paboritong programa. Ito po ang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
And we are encouraging and inviting you to notify us with your attendance, mga ka-Z. So,
Yes.
sa atong link for today, Sir Drew.
So again, our link for our attendance for today, it's https://tinyurl.com/radyoz-eskwela 0407. And everyday po yan gina-assess or gina-evaluate na sa tong team kung kinsa tong mga eskwelahan na nag-participate dyan and mabilang po atong mga responses. So thank you so much po sa nagkataas na nato na mga responses with regards sa ito ang attendance link.
Yes, so makita ninyo na, maka-flash ato ang screen, and of course, nakapina siya sa ato ang mga comment boxes, mga ka-Z. Okay, so alas 12:58 na, and again, we still have one lesson presentation. So magpadayo na ta, Sir Drew, sa ato ang klase.
Yes, our last lesson presentation for today will be about grade 10 science na may topic na electromagnetic waves. And makakasama natin dito bilang content presenter, isang teacher 3 from Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School, si Mildred P. Recto, kasama ang Creative Resource Module Developer, isang teacher 1 from Monte Vista National High School, we have Teresa V. Angostura.
Alas 12:59 na. Hone your skills and unlock your true potentials as you delve deep to the wonders and infinite possibilities of the world of science. Kaya naman po,
Tara na, magklase na ta!
A pleasant afternoon, Davao de Oro, and to all Z-Eskwela listeners, especially to all grade 10 students who are listening to us right now on the radios at home and joining with us on our Facebook Live. I am teacher Mildred P. Recto from Major Angel B. Fajardo National High School, and I will again be your presenter for today in Science Grade 10. We are now on our second module for the second quarter. How are you so far? I hope you are still enjoying your journey in the new normal setting of learning, as well continue to move forward despite of the crisis we are in right now. Now, let's move on and have another lesson. We hope everybody is prepared with your pens, record notebooks, and modules. Make sure that you already ate your lunch and you are on your most comfortable position as we will go through with our discussion. So, are you ready for today's class? That's good to know. Now brace yourselves as we get along with today's topic. Ready? Once again, hello and good afternoon, everyone. Before we will start to introduce our topic this afternoon, let us first have a quick review of the previous concepts you have learned in our previous discussion. You have learned that electromagnetic waves are waves that are created as a result of vibrations between an electric field and magnetic field. And they are arranged in increasing frequency in what we call as the electromagnetic spectrum. Again, electromagnetic spectrum is the arrangement of EM waves in increasing frequency. Can you still remember the different types of electromagnetic waves? Very good. The different types of EM waves are the radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultrasound, X-ray, and gamma ray. And they are arranged in a decreasing wavelength, increasing frequency, and energy. Again, the types of electromagnetic waves are arranged in a decreasing wavelength, increasing frequency, and energy. Now, class, are you not wondering how you are able to communicate with your loved ones from far places? How your television remote control works? Or how were you able to listen to music from your radio? Most of the things we use nowadays are applications of our knowledge about electromagnetic waves. We may not see these EM waves, but we encounter their different forms in our daily life. That's why this afternoon, we will be discussing the practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. And we hope that at the end of the lesson, you will be able to cite examples of practical applications of the different regions of EM waves, such as the use of radio waves in telecommunication, and explain the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and the environment. Now, are you ready for the discussion of our topic this afternoon? Great! To test your past knowledge about this topic, kindly answer first the questions in What I Know on pages 1 to 2 of your modules. You are given 5 seconds to answer each 10 questions. Let us read the instruction first. Listen carefully. Read each question carefully. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. What EM wave makes cellular telephones transmit and receive signals? A. Radio waves. B. Microwaves. C. Visible light. D. Gamma rays. What EM wave makes cellular telephones transmit and receive signals? A. Radio waves. B. Microwaves. C. Visible light. D. Gamma rays. Number 2. All of the following are uses of visible light. Which one is not? A. It enables us to see things. B. Gives light to the screen of our devices. C. For thermal imaging. D. Used in optical fibers. All of the following are uses of visible light. Which one is not? A. It enables us to see things. B. Gives light to the screen of our devices. C. For thermal imaging. D. Used in optical fibers. 3. Which kind of wave is used in night vision goggles? A. Microwave. B. Infrared. C. Gamma ray. D. Visible light. 3. Which kind of wave is used in night vision goggles? A. Microwave. B. Infrared. C. Gamma ray. D. Visible light. 4. Which of the following EM wave makes use of artificial lighting? A. Visible spectrum. B. X-ray. C. Gamma rays. D. Infrared. Which of the following EM wave makes use of artificial lighting? A. Visible spectrum. B. X-ray. C. Gamma rays. D. Infrared. 5. Which of the following is a use of ultraviolet radiation? A. Diagnosing bone fracture. B. Identifying original from fake banknotes. C. Night vision goggle. D. Optical fiber. Which of the following is a use of ultraviolet radiation? A. Diagnosing bone fracture. B. Identifying original from fake banknotes. C. Night vision goggle. D. Optical fiber. 6. Which type of X-ray can penetrate even through metals? A. Regular X-ray. B. Long wavelength X-ray. C. Short wavelength X-ray. D. Dental X-ray. Which type of X-ray can penetrate even through metals? A. Regular X-ray. B. Long wavelength X-ray. C. Short wavelength X-ray. D. Dental X-ray. 7. What type of electromagnetic waves is used in radar? A. Infrared rays, B. Microwaves, C. Radio waves, D. Ultraviolet rays. What type of electromagnetic waves is used in radar? A. Infrared rays, B. Microwaves, C. Radio waves, D. Ultraviolet rays. Eight. What imaging technique uses powerful magnets, computer, and radio waves to make detailed pictures inside your body? A. Thermal imaging, B. Infrared imaging, C. Magnetic resonance imaging, D. X-ray image. What imaging technique uses powerful magnets, computer, and radio waves to make detailed pictures inside your body? A. Thermal imaging, B. Infrared imaging, C. Magnetic resonance imaging, D. X-ray image. Nine. In an infrared camera, what color indicates warmer temperature? A. Blue, B. Green, C. Violet, D. Yellow. In an infrared camera, what color indicates warmer temperature? A. Blue, B. Green, C. Violet, D. Yellow. Ten. Which of the EM waves below are emitted by stars and some radioactive substances? A. Gamma rays, B. Radio waves, C. Microwave, D. X-ray. Which of the EM waves below are emitted by stars and some radioactive substances? A. Gamma rays, B. Radio waves, C. Microwave, D. X-ray. Now, let us check your work. 1B, 2C, 3B, 4A, 5B, 6C, 7B, 8C, 9D, and 10A. How are your scores? It's okay if you did not get perfect scores, as we will tackle these things in our discussion today. Now, after our short break, we will continue on our discussion on the practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. Stay tuned!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back. Now, let us have our discussion about the practical applications and effects of the electromagnetic waves. Earlier, we have reviewed the different types of electromagnetic waves. What are they again? Great! They are the radio wave, microwave, infrared, visible light, ultrasound, X-ray, and gamma ray. While all these EM waves move through space at the same speed of about 300 million meters per second, their wavelengths, frequencies, and energies differ. This is the reason why they are arranged accordingly in a scheme called electromagnetic spectrum. Again, although the EM waves travel at the same speed, They are arranged accordingly in a scheme called electromagnetic spectrum because they differ in their wavelengths, frequency, and energy. Electromagnetic waves have practical applications which depend greatly on their wavelength, frequency, and energy. Well, let us continue with our discussion for us to know more about it. Let us first discuss the practical applications of the radio wave. In your module on page 5, you can see there 3 of some of the applications of radio waves. First is the radio or television signals. Just like at this moment, you can listen to us right now on your radios at home, even if we are far from each other because of radio waves. That is because radio waves has the longest wavelength in the electromagnetic spectrum. That's why it can transmit sounds or picture information over long distances. Next application of the radio wave is the on-the-go GPS or the Global Positioning System, which we always use as a guide whenever we're not familiar of the places we are going. GPS is a space-based navigation system that provides geographical position and time information anywhere on or near the Earth. It communicates with stations on the ground using radio waves. We have GPS in our cars, our cell phones, and any tracking devices. Lastly is the magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. This is commonly found in hospitals and is used to look at organs and structures inside your body. Healthcare professionals use MRI scans to diagnose a variety of conditions, from torn ligaments to tumors. MRIs are very useful for examining the brain and spinal cord. It is a medical imaging technique that uses powerful magnets, computer, and radio waves to make detailed pictures inside your body. Again, what are the 3 practical applications of radio waves? Very good! Radio waves are applied in the radio or television signals, Global Positioning System or GPS, and the magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. Now, let us proceed to the applications of the next electromagnetic waves, which is the microwave. First is the satellite. Microwaves are used in satellite communications because it can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere. Microwave signals are transmitted by the antenna to a satellite, which amplifies and retransmits the signal to an antenna in other parts of the world. This is how we communicate even from afar. Again, we can communicate even from afar through these satellites because it uses microwaves that can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere and transmit signals from an antenna to another. Next is the terrestrial communication. A cell phone is a radio transmitter and receiver that uses microwaves. Each cell has its tower that receives and sends microwave signals. There you go! The cell phones that we cannot live without uses an electromagnetic wave that is microwave. The third application for the microwave is used in cooking. The microwaves in a microwave oven penetrate and agitate the water molecules within the food. Thus, they create molecular friction, which produces heat that will cook the food. Lastly is the radar, which we see in movies used by military men, whether on land, up in the air, or in the middle of the ocean. Radar, radio detection and ranging, is a detection system used to determine the range, angle, or velocity of objects. It can be used to detect aircraft, ships, and the like. So, the applications for microwaves are found in the satellite communication, terrestrial communication like the cell phones, It is used in cooking using the microwave oven and the radar that detects objects. Next up is the infrared. And we use infrared EM waves in our remote controls, whether in our TVs, air cons, and the like. It uses LED lights to transmit signals to control devices, and as it transmits signals, it emits pulses of invisible infrared light. Next one is the thermal imaging through infrared scanners. Infrared scanners such as thermal imaging and thermal scanner are used to show the temperature variation of the body. Our body radiates infrared, and under infrared cameras, our images appear in a variety of colors. The differences in color determine the differences in temperature. For example, shades of blue and green indicate regions of colder temperature, and red and yellow indicate warmer temperature. That's what commonly used, especially in this time of pandemic. Transport terminals are often using thermal scanners to determine if a passenger is in high temperature. Lastly is the night vision goggles. It uses thermal imaging technology to capture the infrared light being emitted as heat by objects in the field of view even at night. The application of the visible light is that enables us to see things around us. It also gives light to the screen of most electronic devices and to artificial lights like flashlight, lamp, or any light source that produces light instead of natural lights produced by the sun. Another application of the visible light is the use of optical fibers in medicine, specifically in using the endoscope. It is a flexible tube with a tiny camera that is used to observe the internal parts of the body. The fifth one is the ultraviolet wave. The ultraviolet B, UVB radiation in sunlight interact with a protein in the skin, converting it into vitamin D3, the active form of vitamin D, which is essential for maintaining healthy bones and teeth. Ultraviolet is also used in security markings in sensitive documents such as credit cards, banknotes, and passports. It includes a UV watermark that is only seen under UV emitting light. Next application of the ultraviolet is in the sterilization of water in drinking fountains. Ultraviolet light disinfection is one water treatment system that can be used to remove most forms of microbiological contamination from water. And the last application of the UV is in the fluorescents. Some washing powder contains fluorescent chemicals which glow in sunlight. This makes your shirt look whiter in daylight. Now, students, are you still listening? We are now down to our last two EM waves and their applications. We are done with the applications of radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible lights, and the ultraviolet. Now, before we proceed, I want you to get up from wherever you are and shake your body to shake away boredom. Go! Shake and stretch! Are you done? Let us continue. The next EM wave we will discuss is the X-ray, and I'm sure you know about it. Have you tried getting an X-ray? X-rays are used in diagnosing bone fractures and is produced using an X-ray tube. Long wavelength X-rays can penetrate the flesh but not the bones. That's why it is used in diagnosing bone fractures. Airport security scanner also uses X-ray. The short wavelength X-rays can penetrate through metals, which can be used in airport security scanner. Last EM wave is the gamma ray, and it is used to treat tumors and cancer through the process called radiotherapy. The high-energy rays of gamma destroy cancer cells in the area where it is given. Gamma rays also sterilize surgical instruments because they easily penetrate through materials, and the energy they release kills bacteria and other microorganisms. From the practical applications of EM waves discussed above, we can conclude that these waves are significant to us. But even essential forms of radiation can be harmful in excessive amount. The effect of EM radiation on organisms and environment depends on how much energy it carries. Radiation can be non-ionizing and ionizing. Non-ionizing radiation does not have enough energy to remove electrons from atoms and molecules. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible lights, and ultraviolets are non-ionizing radiation. We are exposed to low levels of non-ionizing radiation every day. When the exposure is intense and direct, it may result in damage to tissue due to heat. Right amount of non-ionizing radiation like UV rays maintain the proper mechanism of ecosystem. High-energy EM waves like X-rays and gamma rays are considered ionizing radiation. Like the non-ionizing radiation, we are also exposed to low levels of ionizing radiation that comes from the atmosphere. This means that the usual amount of ionizing radiation from natural sources absorbed by our bodies is small. Our main exposure to ionizing radiation comes from man-made sources through the use of diagnostic medical exams. Excessive exposure to this radiation can alter molecules within the cells and may cause eventual harm such as skin or tissue damage, cancer, and death. When handled improperly, radioactive pollution may occur, where the air, soil, and water will be contaminated. This pollution may eventually make its way up to the food chain, where all forms of life may be affected. Now, if you have any questions about our discussion for today, you can leave a comment on our FB Live in the Facebook account of Z-Radio 88.5 and we'll answer that later on. So, I guess you are now ready for the quiz? Now, during our break, prepare your pen and a clean sheet of paper because when we come back, we will test your understanding in our discussion today. We'll be right back after a short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back. Are you now ready for your quiz? I guess you are quite ready and excited. Now, learners, kindly open your module on pages 23 to 24. Again, kindly open your module on pages 23 to 24. Let us read the instruction together. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Let us start. Number 1. Which pair of EM waves is commonly used for communication? A. X-rays and infrared. B. Radio waves and microwaves. C. Radio waves and gamma rays. D. Infrared and microwaves. Again, which pair of EM waves is commonly used for communication? A. X-rays and infrared. B. Radio waves and microwaves. C. Radio waves and gamma rays. D. Infrared and microwaves. Number 2. Radio wave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Watching television. B. Treating cancers. C. Sterilizing medical equipment. D. Sunbathing. Radio wave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Watching television. B. Treating cancers. C. Sterilizing medical equipment. D. Sunbathing. 3. All of the following made use of gamma rays except one. Which is it? A. Treating tumors. B. Treating cancer through the process called radiotherapy. C. Sterilization of water in drinking fountains. D. Sterilization of medical equipment. All of the following made use of gamma rays except one. Which is it? A. Treating tumors. B. Treating cancer through the process called radiotherapy. C. Sterilization of water in drinking fountains. D. Sterilization of medical equipment. 4. Infrared waves is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Television signal. C. Screen of electronic devices. D. Night vision goggles. Infrared waves is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Television signal. C. Screen of electronic devices. D. Night vision goggles. 5. Microwave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Cell phone communication. C. Artificial lighting. D. Sterilization. Microwave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Cell phone communication. C. Artificial lighting. D. Sterilization. 6. Invisible light. Which color has the longest wavelength? A. Red. B. Violet. C. Yellow. D. Green. Invisible light. Which color has the longest wavelength? A. Red. B. Violet. C. Yellow. D. Green. 7. What form of wave makes your skin tan when exposed to a long period of time? A. Infrared rays. B. Microwaves. C. Radio waves. D. Ultraviolet rays. What form of wave makes your skin tan when exposed for a long period of time? A. Infrared rays. B. Microwaves. C. Radio waves. D. Ultraviolet rays. 8. Which of the following is not an application of visible light? A. Bulb. B. Security markings. C. Cell phone screen. D. Flashlight. Which of the following is not an application of visible light? A. Bulb. B. Security markings. C. Cell phone screen. D. Flashlight. 9. Which of the following is the correct meaning of the acronym GPS? A. Guided position symbol. B. Global positioning system. C. Guided positioning system. D. Global perimeter scale. Which of the following is the correct meaning of the acronym GPS? A. Guided Position Symbol. B. Global Positioning System. C. Guided Positioning System. D. Global Perimeter Scale. Ten. Colors in the infrared image depend on A. Wavelength. B. Frequency. C. Amplitude. D. Temperature. Colors in the infrared image depend on A. Wavelength. B. Frequency. C. Amplitude. D. Temperature. Okay, let us check your work. 1A, 2A, 3C, 4A, 5B, 6A, 7D, 8B, 9B, 10D. Who among you got perfect? Very good. How about those students who got below the passing score? Nothing to worry about. You still have plenty of quizzes on the preceding topics. Once again, congratulations everyone! Again, we hope that you were able to understand and grasp the knowledge about the practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves, wherein we were able to cite examples of practical applications of the different regions of EM waves and explain the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and the environment. Reminder, for those concepts which are not clear to you, you can put your comments, suggestions, and questions on our FB page. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Again, I am Teacher Mildred P. Recto of Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School as your content presenter, and with me is Teacher Teresa V. Angostura of Monte Vista National High School, Maine as a Creative Resource Developer. See you next session through our radio-based instruction in Science Grade 10.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Di mo alintana mga batikos at pangungutya, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya.
ika'y di sumusuko, lumalaban at nangangako, maihati pa rin ang serbisyong totoo. Para sa kabataan, ginagawa ang lahat, maibigay lang ang edukasyong karapat-dapat. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo, sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Ika'y pinangungunahan ng isang superwoman, walang iba, Madam Leonor Briones lang naman. Sa ngalan ng serbisyo, dedikasyon sa trabaho, pagmamahal ng isang ina, nararamdaman ko. Ikaw ang humuhubog sa aming kinabukasan, laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng kabataan. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo, sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Katambalan ng pag-ahon, isang bansang puso ay pinag-iisa.
Nang diin, lahat tayo'y uunlad at aangat.
Bilyan tayo, kabrigada, diwa ng bayanihan, atin ang hanggang simula. Man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani kabrigada, lahat ang ika'y gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paalala ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paalan, tinatawag na tahanan,
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin. Kapit lang,
sama-sama,
walang iwanan,
mananatiling magkasangga.
langit ay kakampiling natin. Ano man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani kabrigada, lahat ay kayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. Walang iwanan tayo.
sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin san patubo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay,
pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian, nagtagatibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang bigada, pagbigkisin, lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, pagbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na, tulong-tulong
sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada eskwela, salit na buong barkada. Brigada eskwela, kilos na magbayanihan na. Brigada eskwela, kilos na magbayanihan na. Brigada eskwela na, sabay-sabayan na.
Z Radio 88.5.
Alauna 48 na po ang ating oras ngayon, mga ka-Z. Time check sa tugihapon ka nato ni Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora.
Ayan, so natapos na nating mapakinggan at makita ang ating last lesson presentation for today, which is about the grade 10 science na may topic na electromagnetic waves. And we would like to say thank you to our content presenter for this, isang teacher 3 from Major Angel B. Fajardo National High School, si Mildred P. Recto. And kasama ang kanyang creative resource material developer, isang teacher 1 from Monte Vista National High School na si Teresa V. Angostura.
Ayan, so sa lahat ng mga content presenters, along with the material developer po for today's episode, maraming thank you mga ma'am and sir, and congratulations. So,
Yes.
We are wishing you good luck also sa inyong mga pagpangandam, no? Alang sa inyong sunod nga mga episode, inyong
Yes.
mga presentations pohon. So, see you mga next month pohon, mga ma'am and sir.
And we would like to remind all our content presenters along with your creative resource material developer to please submit ahead of time or advance na pag-submit sa inyong mga raw materials sa ang RBI team editors para mas mapanindot pa dyan og mahatagan og mga suggestions and recommendations ng atuang lesson presentation.
Yes, so ayan, so ano ba ang mga naganap for today's episode, Sir Drew? So ganihan, no? Nasugdan ni Sir JL together with Ma'am Donna ang atuang programa. So at the first hour, we have our grade 7 science and the topic was about plant and animal cells. Sumunod naman dyan ang ating grade 8 science at ang ating napag-usapan po ay ang comets, asteroids, and meteors.
And then sinundan yan ng ating grade 9 science with the topic of the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond. And lastly, for the grade 10 science with the topic of electromagnetic waves.
Ayan, so if you miss our episode for today, so pwede kainin nyo ning matanaw sa atuang YouTube channel, atuan ning i-upload sa atuang YouTube channel nga Radyo Z-Eskwela GDO. So pangitaalang ninyo dito mga ka-Z, ugaban pang mga episodes nga gusto ninyo tanawon pagbalik.
Yes, and aside sa inyong pagpaminaw sa inyong paboritong istasyon sa Z Radio 88.5 FM, we would like to say thank you sa ato ang mga netizens na nagtanaw pod sa atong crossline streaming gamit ang atong FB application ng mga FB pages. So with that, atong i-acknowledge atong mga netizens for today. We have Mark Sebastian Acusar, Laika Dayan Casipi Villanueva II, Francis Reed, Eliza Marie Ablanque, Crisandra Andrea Mandin Benedicto, Daniela Victoria Onabia, Adrian Jean Buntuan Valdez, Keith Cyril Sosya, Karen Angela Matuban, Sherdy Warlin, Sean Kate Sumaoy, JM Kabugat, Cherish Gonzalez Kalibadan, Celeste Baterna Lastra, we have Iron Destor Lozarita Docusin, Feby Joy Joaquin Talandron, Ashley Gonzaga, Elia Joel Adrino Capin, Rowena Ipil, Mary Joy Vigafria Siniza, Thelma Caris Bataluna Nanali, Leslie Tito Mia Gado. Thank you so much sa inyong makanunayang suporta sa tuang programa.
Yes, so maraming salamat mga ka-Z. Alauna 51 no, so atuang programa mabati ninyong adlawng tanan, sugod adlawng Lunes, taman adlawng Domingo, alas 10 sa buntag taman alas 2 sa hapon. Dinhi ka na sa inyong paboritong radio station, ang Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong Kuyaw.
Ayan. So again, ayaw mo kalimot sa pag-subscribe sa atuang YouTube channel mga ka-Z. Subot natong pasalamatan ang atuang mga program sponsors. Maraming maraming thank you po to Metro Gear Construction Corporation,
Grand Builders and Development Services Corporation,
Maxmaze Enterprises Incorporated,
Green Construction Company,
Rangay Construction and Supplies,
East Sussex Enterprise,
WM Construction,
hello to Councilor Bugi and Miss Marjorie Vertudazo,
Acon Builders and Supply,
Apex Mine Company Incorporated.
Yes, we also have Pahati Construction.
Ayan.
Ayan, sila po ang ating mga program sponsors. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan, sa ating mga learners, huwag kaligtaan na i-notify nyo po kami sa ato ang attendance link for today, which is the https://tinyurl/Radyo Z-Eskwela, Z-Eskwela 0407.
Yes, maraming thank you, Sir Du. So once again, daghan salamat mga kazi. Kami po yung magpapaalam na.
Yes.
So manatili pa rin naka-tune in sa inyong paboritong radio station. Doon na pakita yung mga programa no, so atanghinan ninyo mga kazi. Ug sa ngalan sa kinatibuk ang puwersa sa RBI DepEd Division of Davao de Oro, inubanan sa atuang management and staff dinhi sa Z-Radio 88.5. Sa ngalan na lang po sa atuang VMix operator for today, Sir Ralph Tabanyag. Kini inyong mga maestra ug maestro sa kahanginan ay Ma'am Maymay Resma.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Hangtod sa sunod higayon mga kazi, daghang salamat po sa kanunay.
Dalagon ang Diyos.
With a smile, tuning na sa radio, been alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay